So how do you structure your online lesson? I'm going to give you an outline which you can change and adapt according to your needs and the needs of your learner. But this is quite a useful kind of outline. You've got perhaps an hour, 50 minutes. I don't know how long you've got with your learners. And you have to be very clever with your time, because if you aren't, you're going to be exhausted. How you want to start your lesson is with a instruction video or that you pre-record. You can do it on WhatsApp, you can do it on PowerPoint, but you're going to do a little recording. It's going to be under 2 minutes where you're going to do the setup. You're going to start your lesson by saying, our lesson is about the following things, and today we aim to achieve these and these and these goals. It's also a really good little slot in order to revisit what you did yesterday or the day before, the lesson before. So if you did history, you can say, yesterday we looked at this era, and today we will continue with that. So you do it as a reminder and revisiting the content of the previous lesson, and you use it as a way to set up how you intend to run the rest of your lesson for that current day. So that's your first 2 minutes. After that, you're going to do your teacher talk slot. Now, teacher talk means that when is where you are giving the instruction and teaching the new content. You can either do that using a pre-recorded lesson where you say to the learners, we are now going to, you've got, 8 minutes or 7 minutes, however long it is, definitely under 10 minutes, to watch the video where I tell you about the content. And once that is done, we will discuss it. If you haven't had time to do the recording, you will then live teach it and make sure that you record the live teaching so that it's available to others. So 2 minutes is lesson instruction and setup. The next 10 minutes is teacher talk. Once you've done the teacher talk, you're going to have time for group discussion. So the learners will have either watched the pre-recorded video you made, or they will have had the live teaching. That's the time where you can do your sort of formative assessment, see what they understand, get them to ask questions. Make sure that that time is definitely no longer than, 10 minutes, ideally a 5-minute slot. Because what you want to do is you want to get them offline, and you want to, save data and get them working. Give them a worksheet or an instruction for them to go away and do. At that point, once you've handed out the task or the work, you can tell your learners that it's okay for them to go offline. Depending on how you've structured your lesson, you can either get them to do it and have it ready for the next day, but I would recommend that you treat it almost like a normal class period, and then encourage them to individually, as they're going through their works, ask questions on either WhatsApp or the live chat. But not everybody needs that. So there will be learners who can just basically get on with the work. But you will have kind of like a background presence, which makes them feel like that it is more interactive, and that you are available to them. You don't obviously have to be doing anything specific, but just accessing the class and checking for learners' questions as they either put them on the chat group or send them to you on WhatsApp. But for those that have got problems with data, they can go offline and they can work individually with. And then you can either wrap up the lesson live, or you can end the lesson and use that time to see what kinds of questions are coming in from the learners. From the questions that people are going to be posting on the chat room, that will give you an idea of the conceptual errors there are or what they don't understand, and then you can build that into your next lesson. So it's useful for you to see, oh, they didn't quite get either, this maths equation or sum, or they didn't understand this instruction, and you can use that for the start of your next lesson, where you can, in your 2-minute introductory slot, where you introduce what you're going to do next time, talk about the things you picked up in the lesson that you're running.